Hey, Talents. So in the last lesson we had a look on variables, and in this tutorial I'm going to talk about if conditions. So first of all, let's just start with a new kind of variable that we haven't talked about before, and that will be useful for talking about if statements and conditions. So let's go back to Rider, to the code, and what I'm going to do something really simple here. So I'm going to do this kind of variable. It's called bool. Okay, bool for boolean, and it's either true or false or 1 or 0, you might think of it. But basically bool is just you can think of it like an answer for a question of the answer can be either true or false. Okay, so let's say bool answer equals true. Okay, and we have these two values, true and false, and let's say try. So if statement goes with one second before if statement. Let's just do debug.log and like this. The answer is, and let's put in answer. Okay, so very simple code. And now it should be working. Okay, very simple code. Let's go back to Unity. Okay, let's look at the console. Let's run the game. And we see the answer is true. Okay, and there's also this start, and there's the movement from the last tutorial. Okay. So the answer is true, but what can we do with this thing? We can also do an if. So if statement has three parts. So there's the if, and there's the here's the condition itself. It's like the question. We talked about question that can have a true or false answer. So this might be the question inside, and here is what we're going to do. So let's take the debug.log and put it inside, and let's put the answer here, because so you can think of it that the question can also be the answer. So you just want to see what can be inside here, either true or false. Okay, and he would say that all was true because this is true. Okay, so the answer is it should be true. So let's have a look. So actually, I'll do it really fast. Okay, and again we got true. Great. Now if it was false, then the condition would go here and it would see it true or false, and it wouldn't do it, and you see that Rider grayed out the command because it knows that it wouldn't happen. So let's just save time and show you another thing. This is the else, and here we can say debug.log, okay, and say it. Okay, just a second. Okay, so the answer is false. Okay, and you see this is colored because you already know it's false and it's going to print this one. But the main idea is that if the if condition, this part, doesn't happen because what's in here is false, then the else would happen. Okay, so and that's why it will print this one. So let's see it in Unity. Let's run it. Okay, and we see answer is false. Great. So what else can we do with the condition? So condition, the main idea is actually asking an interesting question. So let's put this aside and let's just say we know that we have this code right here, right? So I'll just cut it and paste it up here. And let's just ask, and of course it paints the answer in red because we don't have the answer. So let's just do a test whether x is bigger than 0. Okay, or you know what, even better, speed is larger than 0, and let's make sure speed can be smaller than 0. I put -3. So let's see if speed is larger than 0, and if so, we would say speed is positive, and speed. And here we'll do about the same thing, because if it's not positive, speed is negative. Okay, now what about the possibility that speed is 0? Well, actually, because we randomize on float, the chance that it would be exactly 0 is practically none. So I can pretty much assure it would be either larger than 0 or smaller than 0, so either positive or negative. But actually we can do something else. We can do, there's else if. So else if is another condition in the middle, and we can do else if speed smaller than 0, and here we'll do this negative. Okay, and here we'll do speed exactly 0. I'm not sure if I wrote it correctly. Anyway, so here we have three paths. Okay, so we have the if, else if, and else. So if the condition here, speed is larger than 0, wouldn't happen, we would check the else if and see if speed is smaller than 0, negative. And if this wouldn't happen, he would go for the else. So if this is true, this print will go out. If this is true, this print will go out. And in any other case, in our case, only if it's 0, it would print this message. And we can actually do a more else if in here. For example, let me see. Okay, let's just do something like this. Okay, never mind. We'll do it later. So let me just run it for now. Okay, and we see the speed is positive, and again it's positive, and again it's positive, and finally we have a negative. Great. Okay, so the thing is we can actually put more else if inside here. I mean, we can use one if, then else if, else if, else if for a few conditions, and at the end else. And of course we don't have to do we can do only if and else, and maybe even only if, or only if and else if, but we can never have else if or else without having if before it, if it's like the start. And the else has to be the last one. So let's just show another option. Let's just add here else if. Okay, x is smaller than y. Okay, so we'll just print here. Okay, and x is smaller than y, and we'll do here x smaller than y. So of course this else if has nothing to do with the speed, but just to show you that we can put another condition in the middle here. So let's run it again. Let's go back to Unity. And okay, I said x is smaller than y. Okay, so it was negative and x was smaller than y. Let's do it again. And now speed is positive, and even though x was smaller than, I'm not sure if x was smaller than y actually, but let's start again. Okay, speed is negative. So we can have all the different options. Speed is positive and so on. Okay, that's great. So let's try to do something interesting with that. So we can actually check whether, okay, so this is on the beginning and we have all the prints. This is really nice. I can comment it out either by selecting all and pressing Control / This is one possibility. And this is actually the preferred possibility, but I can also do a comment block. And I'll do it for now, and I can even minimize it. Okay. So let's use the update for now, okay? And let's say that we want that let's say that if x is larger than 3, okay, then speed equals minus speed. And actually this can be done in another way. Okay, it can be done also like this: speed like times minus 1. Okay, or okay, this is good enough. This is another option. So what this will basically do, it will change the direction once x is larger than 3. So let's have a look. Okay, so we have to have it going to the right. It won't happen now. Okay, let's try again. Hopefully we'll have positive. Okay, once more. Hopefully we have positive. Oh, positive speed. Just a sec. Okay, and now it got kind of stuck here. Okay, moving but really slow because he has a really slow speed. Okay, I'll try once more. Okay, too slow for me. Okay, let's do another thing. So I checked here if x is larger than 3. Okay, and I can do it in another situation, like else if x is smaller than minus 3. Okay, and we'll do actually the same thing. Okay, we just wanted to change the direction, and let's make sure that the speed is positive and quite high. So I'll put here 2. Okay, so we'll have better chance to actually see what's happening. So this if is like it will tell us it will make sure that that it would go from left to right. It will go to right and then to left and then to right, unless it's stuck, of course. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, let's just make sure that it's not. Okay. This should actually be okay. You know what? Let's do it. If x is larger than 4. Okay, I know what the problem is. Okay, larger than 3 and the end. Okay. So end is like checking another condition. The condition is speed is larger than 0. So we have positive speed, so it's going to the right. And we'll do here the same. Speed is smaller than 0. So basically speed is positive, said it's going to the right, and speed negative going to the left. And now this condition has two parts. First it checks whether x is larger than 3, and then it makes sure that it's going to the right. This is the only situation that we want to change the direction. And the other possibility is that x is smaller than minus 3, and we want and the speed is negative, so it's gone to the left and is smaller than minus 3, so we want to change the direction to the other side. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, now it goes between the two sides. Now, we've seen that he's like going beyond the screen, and we might want him to stop at the screen. So I'll show you what we do. First of all, this minus 3 is really a literal value. So let's put something else. So let's put public, and I'll call it float limit x. Okay, and as we remember from the last lesson, we can specify it in the inspector in Unity, and let's use it here. So here it will be limit x, and here it will be minus limit x. Okay, so limit x is a shortcut for limit x, and when we go back to Unity, okay, you will see it will load here, and it will start with 0. Now instead of putting 3, we can just move this to the side and have a look, and we can see that here the x value is 2.25. So let's just put 2.25, and because the camera is exactly in the middle, if I'll take it to the other side, you'll see it's about minus 2.25. Okay, great. So let's start, and and now we'll see it going from side to side and change direction every time it hit the wall. Okay, really nice. So this is, of course, really useful for games. So let's just have another look at the code. Okay, so we have here, so again we change the speed, we use the limit x and the speed to know whether it's going to the right and it reached the right wall, or whether it's going to the left and reached the left wall. Okay, so thank you very much, Last Challenge, for joining me in this tutorial. On the next tutorial, I probably will continue with these conditions. There are a lot of other things we can do with condition, which can be much more complicated than this. But this is a really nice start. We've seen how to combine using if conditions and variable to actually do something interesting and change the behavior of rectangle. And you know what? I'll have about a minute, so I'll show you just one more thing that I can. Okay, duplicate this, do a few of them, and also I'll put this back to -3 and 3, and speed I'll do to -3 and 3. Okay, and let's, just before we finish, let's have a look on what happens when we have more than one of them. Okay, so all of them doing the same kind of movement, and of course we can color them and see it more clearly, but really nice effect, right? All of them moving inside this rectangle of the screen. So thank you very much, talent, and see you in the next movie, in the next tutorial.